Making headlines this hour, President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu reaffirms the enduring friendship between the Maldives and Pakistan on their 79th Independence Day. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu reiterates that the Maldives strongly condemns the statement made by the Israeli occupation government announcing that so-called vision of Greater Israel. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu concludes his 4-day official visit to the inhabited islands of Ba Atoll. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Minha Maroof. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu reaffirms the enduring friendship between the Maldives and Pakistan, expressing confidence that bilateral relations will continue to strengthen through expanded cooperation. His remarks were conveyed in official messages sent to Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari and Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif, marking the occasion of Pakistan's 79th Independence Day. Extending warm felicitations and sincere good wishes to the leadership and people of Pakistan, President Muizzu highlighted the depth of the relationship between the two Islamic nations. He noted that the ties are rooted in a shared faith and common values and acknowledged the progress Pakistan has achieved over the years. Speaking on behalf of the government and the people of the Maldives, he reiterated his belief that the long-standing partnership is poised to deepen further. The president described the relationship as resilient and principled, shaped by mutual respect and a commitment to regional solidarity. The sentiments expressed in the official messages were echoed in a public statement shared via President Muizzu's official X account. In the post, he reaffirmed the Maldives' commitment to strengthening bilateral ties and conveyed personal wishes for the continued health and well-being of President Zardari and Prime Minister Sharif. He also offered prayers for sustained peace, progress and prosperity for the Pakistani people. Pakistan's Independence Day, observed annually on 14th August, commemorates the end of British colonial rule and the establishment of Pakistan as a sovereign state in 1946. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu reiterates that the Maldives strongly condemns the statement made by the Israeli occupation government announcing the so-called vision of Greater Israel, firmly rejecting its settlement and expansionist agenda. In a statement on his official X account, the president stressed that such remarks, laden with inflammatory rhetoric, violate international law and undermine the Palestinian people's right to self-determination. He called for urgent, unified international action to safeguard the rights of the Palestinian people and to bring an end to their suffering amid the escalating conflict. The Maldives continues to reaffirm its unwavering solidarity with Palestine and reiterate its commitment to all efforts aimed at achieving a just, comprehensive and lasting peace. Greater Israel is a term used in Israeli politics to describe the expansion of its territory to include the occupied West Bank, besieged Gaza, Syria's occupied Golan Heights, Egypt's Sinai Peninsula and parts of Jordan. Israel has waged a large-scale genocide in Gaza since October 2023, killing more than 61,700 Palestinians, almost half of them women and children. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu concludes his 4-day official visit to the inhabited islands of Ba Atoll. During the tour, the president visited 13 islands including Kamadu, Kudarikilu, Kendu, Edafushi, Tuladu, Goidu, Fehendu, Fuladu, Hitadu, Kihadu, Donphan, Daravandu, and Maros. He held discussions with local councils, women's development committees, institutional heads, and residents to access community priorities and address ongoing development challenges. The president was accompanied by a delegation of cabinet members and senior officials from state-owned enterprises who provided tailored updates on current and planned projects for each island. Key highlights of the visit included the inauguration of ATM services by the Bank of Maldives across all inhabited islands in the atoll, and the official commencement of police station construction in Malos, Fehendu, Toledo, and Goidu. In a notable announcement, the president confirmed the handover of Mamaduvari to Hitadu and Innofushi to Fuladu. He also pledged to initiate land reclamation works for the development of Toledo Airport and unveil plans to upgrade Taravandu Airport. The trip further featured the launch of multiple development initiatives and the signing of agreements across various sectors. The president reviewed the progress achieved in 2025 to date and outlined projects scheduled for the coming year. In his addresses to the public, President Dr. Moizu reaffirmed his administration's commitment to genuine decentralization and community empowerment, stressing the importance of grassroots engagement and the pivotal role of local councils in delivering the national vision for sustainable development. He reiterated his government's dedication to working closely with communities, listening to their concerns, and driving transformative progress together. The Minister of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure, Dr. Abdullah Muttalib, says the government will not force asphalt roads on islands, insisting that residents have a say in shaping developmental needs. President Dr. Muttalib, speaking to PSM News in the sidelines of President Dr. Mohamed Moizu's four-day tour of inhabited islands in Ba Atoll, pointed out that the president, during each visit to the islands, has continued to assure the people that the government will reshape developmental projects to align with their wishes and sentiments. The minister said, though the government had received requests from some islands for vehicles and equipment to combat flooding, the lack of official communication from the respective island councils had given the impression that the people wanted the government to use asphalt in road development. However, Dr. Muttalib revealed 3 different island councils have officially communicated the desire to leave the natural sand roads intact and have instead asked for road maintenance vehicles and equipment. The minister reiterated that the government would not force the development of roads in islands by using asphalt, insisting that it will heed the wishes of the people in a way that will benefit them economically and socially. The latest official tourism figures show more than 1 million tourists have spent their holidays in resorts so far this year. According to statistics from the Ministry of Tourism and Environment, a total of 1,374,699 tourists have arrived in the Maldives so far this year, a 9% increase compared to the 1,261,503 tourists during the same period last year. The figures showed that tourist resorts remain the preferred choice for holiday makers. 1,008,081 tourists opting to spend their holidays in resorts so far this year. Guest houses maintained second spot with 300,763 tourists, while 36,519 tourists stayed in tourist hotels, followed by safari yachts with 28,354 tourists. China continues to retain top spot in the tourist source market, crossing 200,000 arrivals so far this year. Top 5 source markets are as follows: China with 208,069 tourists, Russia with 163,060 tourists, United Kingdom with 126,906 tourists, Italy with 98,482 tourists, Germany with 95,454 tourists. Statistics show that Maldives now welcomes an average of 6,137 tourists per day. The government is aiming to surpass last year's record-breaking 2 million arrival figure with 2.3 million tourists this year. According to newly published data from the Maldives Monetary Authority (MMA), the Maldives' usable foreign exchange reserve rose by $10 million in July, reaching $213.22 million. The increase marks a 5% gain from the $203 million recorded at the end of June. Defined by the MMA as foreign currency holdings available for immediate expenditure, the usable reserve reflects the government's intensified efforts to reinforce the country's financial buffers. The administration of President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu has introduced a series of fiscal and monetary interventions aimed at stabilizing the economy following pandemic-related disruptions. While the usable reserve strengthened the official reserve, a broader metric closely monitored by international credit rating agencies registered a decline. The MMA reported a fall to $774.52 million in July, down 6% from $832.4 million in June. The central bank underscored the importance of maintaining the official reserve at adequate levels, citing its critical role in determining the Maldives' sovereign creditworthiness. Foreign currency obligations due in the short term also contracted during the same period. Figures show a decrease from $774.5 billion in June to $688.2 million in July, indicating a modest easing of immediate external liabilities. The government's reserve-building efforts follow a period of fiscal strain in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the MMA, the national debt, measured as a percentage of economic output, has increased in recent years, complicating efforts to secure foreign assistance. In response, the administration has initiated targeted actions to reverse the trend and restore financial resilience. Among the measures is the implementation of a revised foreign currency law, under which the MMA now channels 60% of US dollar inflows from commercial banks directly into the reserve. The central bank also reported an increase in foreign currency earnings from tourism this year, contributing positively to the reserve position. Additional support is expected from a $400 million currency swap agreement signed with the Reserve Bank of India under the SAARC framework. The MMA has initiated its intention to fully utilize the facility to strengthen reserve adequacy. Debt servicing obligations remain a pressing concern. The Maldives faces its largest repayment in recent history, with more than $1 billion due next year. The MMA reiterated that a robust reserve position will be essential to meeting these commitments and safeguarding macroeconomic stability. Bitcoin hits a record high as increasing expectations for easier monetary policy from the Federal Reserve added to tailwinds from recently announced financial reforms.
The world's largest crypto asset by market capitalization climbed as much as 0.9% to $124,249 in early Asia trading, surpassing its previous peak hit in July. On the day, the second largest crypto token, Ether or ETH, hit $4,780.04, the highest level since late 2021. IG market analyst Tony Sycamore says Bitcoin's rally is being powered by increasing certainty of Fed rate cuts, sustained institutional buying, and moves by the Trump administration to ease investment in crypto assets. Bitcoin has risen nearly 32% so far in 2025 on the back of long-sought regulatory wins for the sector following President Donald Trump's return to the White House. Trump has called himself the crypto president, and his family has made a series of forays into the sector over the past year. An executive order last week paved the way to allow crypto assets in 401k retirement accounts, highlighting an increasingly favorable regulatory environment in the United States.
If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way. And that's what's going to happen.
Crypto has scored multiple regulatory wins in the US over 2025, including the passage of stablecoin regulations. And the U.S. securities regulators moved to overhaul regulations in order to accommodate the asset class. Bitcoin's surge has also sparked a broader rally in the asset class over the past few months, shrugging off the tremors of Trump's wide-ranging tariff policies. Data from CoinMarketCap shows the crypto sector's overall market capitalization has ballooned to over $4.18 trillion, up from about $2.5 trillion in November 2024, when Trump won the U.S. presidential election. The latest push for crypto adoption in the United States came via an executive order which would ease access to the asset class in 401k retirement accounts. The executive order could also be a boost for asset managers such as BlackRock and Fidelity, which operate crypto exchange-traded funds. Crypto's push into retirement savings can also be peppered with risk, as the asset class tends to experience much more volatility than stocks and bonds, which asset managers had typically relied on for such accounts.
The African Union backs a campaign to end the use by government and international organizations of the 16th century Mercator map of the world in favor of one that more accurately displays Africa's size. Created by cartographer Gerardus Mercator for navigation, the projection distorts continent sizes, enlarging areas near the poles like North America and Greenland, while shrinking Africa and South America. AU Commission Deputy Chairperson Selma Malika Haddadi said, quote, "It might seem to be just a map, but in reality it is not," unquote, saying that Mercator fostered a false impression that Africa was marginal despite being the world's second largest continent by area, with 54 nations and over 1 billion people. She said such stereotypes influence media, education and policy.
The current size of the map of Africa is wrong. It's the world's longest misinformation and disinformation campaign, and it just simply has to stop. I think the real life implications of it is that when you're dealing with something that is much bigger than it is, your policies towards it, your investment into it are actually impacted because you're basing it on incorrect information. So Africa has 6 different time zones. It's huge. 30 countries can fit into it. Japan, India, China, most of Europe, France, Germany, Italy. But yet, when you look at it, it looks much smaller than it is. And I think that's problematic.
The Mercator projection is still widely used, including by schools and tech companies. Google Maps switched from Mercator on desktop to a 3D globe view in 2018, though users can still switch back to the Mercator if they prefer. Correct the Map wants organizations like the World Bank and the United Nations to adopt the Equal Earth map. A World Bank spokesperson said they already use the Winkle Triple or Equal Earth for static maps and are phasing out Mercator on web maps. The campaign said it has sent a request to the UN geospatial body UNGGIM. A UN spokesperson said that once received, it must be reviewed and approved by a committee of experts. Other regions are backing the AU's efforts. Dobreen Omard, Vice Chair of the Caribbean Community Reparations Commission, endorsed Equal Earth as a rejection of Mercator Map's ideology of power and dominance. That's all we have for now. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a pleasant day ahead.